Good morning, fourth Max students. Now we will continue the topic remedial teaching in English language. Okay, so the next subtopic is going to be principles of helping people with the learning difficulties. Principles of helping people. Principles of helping people with the learning difficulties. Okay. So here the first point is going to be teaching preparation. Okay. So teaching preparation. So already you know that remedial teaching, and as we teach, there could be some students with the learning difficulties that may be poor memory power, lack of motivation, and lack of interest, and slow, the ability to learn slow learning, the slow phase. So likewise we have certain difficulties. They may have some physical difficulties. So for those students we have to do some remedial teaching. Okay, and how can we do it? And so the first principle is that teaching preparation. Okay, so let me read out this breakdown. Before preparing the lessons, teachers should identify people's diverse learning needs as soon as possible. Before preparing the lessons, teachers should identify people's diverse learning needs as soon as possible. Okay. So even in the main teaching itself, the teacher should prepare the lesson that there are students with learning difficulties, and accordingly I should teach them. So that should be the case, and that's how the teacher should prepare the lessons. Okay. You see, if you write the lesson plans, motivation and explanation and then summation and micro teaching, everything you have to keep it in your mind, and then you have to teach. So this is regular teaching, and at the same time teachers should not forget that they have some students have some learning difficulties, and accordingly I have to teach. And they may learn at their own pace. They may understand at their own pace. Okay, so they may understand at their own pace. They may learn the lessons at their own pace. So they need some students. They need time. If I already told you, if all the students are given time, then all the students definitely can score the first marks, the state first marks. Okay, but the problem is 1 year time is given, only 6 months time is given at the college level. So in the 6 months they have to learn fast. So therefore, let's say for some students they may need only 1 month time. Okay, with the 1 month time itself they can score 100% marks. So, but some students need 5 years time. Okay, to score the center mark. So it depends on each student. So therefore the teacher should prepare the lessons in such a way that my teaching is not going to reach all the students. Therefore, according to the learning difficulty. Okay. So there are actually the rule is now today's rule is going to be 35:1. For secondary school, the ratio is going to be 35:1. That is the normal one. If there are more than 35 students, another teacher should be appointed in the school, and a separate class should be allotted. Okay, so that should be the case. Okay, so if there are 36 students, the class should be divided as 18 in 18. That's how the class should be divided. And actually at the university level and the college level, 50:1. If there are 50 students, there can be one teacher at the college level. Okay, at the secondary level, it should be 35:1, and but the higher secondary level it should be 40:1. Okay, if there are 40 students, there should be one teacher. Okay, if there is for 41 and 42 students, then they have to be divided, and 2 teachers should be appointed. Okay, that is the rule, but practically it is not happening. That is a different topic. But let's say even in your class also there are more than 50 students, but it is not the university rule. Only for your batch this happening. Okay, but for other classes 50:1 is in a class there are 50 students at the college level. That rule is followed correctly, but only for your batch there are more than 50 students. Okay, so if there are 50 students and if there are 35 students, definitely there are some students with learning difficulties. Okay, and it is the responsibility of the teacher to find out those students as soon as possible. Okay, see, for example, you have teaching experience, by that I can understand. So you may ask some questions, and immediately the studious students or the intelligent students, maybe 2 or 3 will be able to answer those questions. Then the teacher should not think that okay, all the students learned the concept. So this is the wrong attitude of the teacher. So immediately the teacher should be able to grasp, yes, only these students only answer the question. Students do not answer the question. So therefore my concept did not reach all the students. Okay, but likewise teacher should grasp the student's problem immediately. Okay, so that should be the case with the teacher. Okay, so as soon as possible, even when you write the main lesson plan in the main teaching itself, the teacher should think that there are some students with learning difficulties, and I have to find out them. So this should be the mentality of the teacher. And the second point, devise learning activities. Second point, devise learning activities. Please take down. Teachers must devise the different learning activities with the same teaching objectives to develop people's varied abilities and skills in problem solving. Teachers must devise different learning activities. Teachers must devise different learning activities with the same teaching objective to develop students' varied abilities and skills in problem solving. Okay, so different learning activities. Okay, and by that we'll be able to understand. Okay, say you ask a question and okay, you write it on the board. Okay, and others you write it in your notebook. And then while they are writing, the teacher should supervise. Okay, and okay, he has some writing problem, and you ask oral questions. So you have speaking, you don't have that speaking skill, and so ask them to read. So you have reading difficulty. Likewise, the teacher should understand the problem immediately. Okay, Ram Kumar, he doesn't have the reading skill, and Suresh, he doesn't have the speaking skill. So likewise, the teacher should assign varieties of learning activities. Okay, as an English teacher, the teacher should assign students varieties of learning activities, and by that the teacher can understand the learning difficulty, and accordingly the teacher can help them. Okay, and then the third point, design meaningful learning situation. Design meaningful learning situation. Teachers should specifically design meaningful learning situations, learning environment, games or activities so as to provide personal learning experiences for people and stimulate their interest and initiative in learning. Let me repeat. Teachers should specifically design meaningful learning situations, learning environment, games or activities so as to provide personal learning experience for people and stimulate their interest and initiative in learning. So meaningful learning situation, interesting learning situation. Okay, and that itself will solve all the problems. And let's say maximum the students' learning problem is always going to be the motivation. Okay, lack of motivation. So if they are interested to learn, then most of the problems are going to be solved. If all the 50 students are interested to learn, then there could be one or two, okay, that with some reading problems or writing problems, and that also could be easily identified by the teacher, and remedial teaching can be done. Okay, so the main problem is that most of the students do not have proper motivation to learn, to sit in the class and listen to the teacher and to learn. So this is the main headache for the teachers. Okay, so if they are motivated, all the problems are going to be solved. So therefore, meaningful learning environment should be created. That is, interesting learning environment should be created. Okay. So why it is said to be meaningful? Studying the lessons are actually important. Okay, and see, the main problem with actually education system itself is the problem. That is the other topic. And see, the main problem with the students for the lack of motivation. Why should I learn this? Okay, so why should I learn the formula a plus b the whole square? Why should I learn the formula? Why should I learn trigonometry? Okay, why should I learn grammar? Why should I learn active and passive? Why should I learn the definition of noun? Why should I learn the poetry of Shakespeare or William Wordsworth or Tirukkural by Thiruvalluvar? Why should I do? Why should I learn? Okay, so this is the problem. And see, in the pandemic situation, and most of the children and the college students as well as school students, they simply go out of the home and they work, they labor and they earn money. And as they earn money and they are not ready to go back to the schools or colleges, I am earning money, then why should I study? Why should I go back to school or college and study? For earning money only, I go to school and colleges, and now I learn. I earn money, and therefore why should I learn? Why should I come to college and why should I learn these things? Okay, so this is the problem. Okay, see. We must, the problem is with the system, all the mathematics, let's say, even your seniors also said, not some, even most of the your senior math students in our college itself, they start the experience, what is the purpose of studying mathematics? And everything is meaningless. Complex analysis, real analysis, everything is actually meaningless. They simply made these statements. Okay, and what I say, the problem is it should be the syllabus and curriculum. The problem is with the syllabus and curriculum itself. Okay, that yes, studying complex analysis, real analysis, they are actually meaningful to our life. Okay, So when we study these things, then only let's say actually if we study Shakespeare only, we have the attitude towards each character. Especially when we study Shakespeare, then we understand the value of an individual. Okay, likewise words for Tirukural, and we understand the value of human emotions, human characters, human thoughts, okay, human feelings. Likewise, the purpose of mathematics, which I do not know, and you yourself have to find out. Okay, and but the problem is the syllabus and curriculum is simply focused on only the marks. Okay, but the syllabus and curriculum should focus on that as you study complex analysis, you apply in your life. That's how syllabus and curriculum should be framed. But unfortunately, that's how it's not framed. So therefore, students are not motivated, and as they are not motivated, they are not going to learn. Okay. See, I am an English professor, and you are maths students or let's say maths teachers. Okay, in Shakespeare he says so and so, and in maths also they say so, and we can let's say in case of Tamil teacher or Tamil students, in Tirukural also it is said, Shakespeare also says so. Okay, in this way Shakespeare says this, and in this way Thiruvalluvar says the same point, and women should be glorified. Both Shakespeare and Thiruvalluvar acknowledge that women should be glorified, but how they should be glorified, that differs between Thiruvalluvar and Shakespeare. Okay. So, in this way, women should be glorified. This is the responsibility of women. This is all the responsibility of men. So, men also have responsibility. Women also have responsibility, and they also both talk about women empowerment and how they express it. That differs. Okay. So, Tamil teachers and English teachers, Tamil students and English students at the college level, they have to discuss and analyze. Okay. So, in case of maths, how far English and maths are going to be compared, that I do not know. But definitely, I strongly believe that they are helpful. Algebra is actually helpful for life. Trigonometry is actually helpful for life. Definitely, I do not know the concept of real analysis or complex analysis, and even integra, that also I completely forgot. Okay, so but yet I strongly believe that they are actually helpful for life. When a small section of people know real analysis or complex analysis and trigonometry, they will tell the society that so this is the value of it, and this is how it should be done. Okay, so especially in case of medical and definitely doctors will be able to easily know the importance of vaccination. Okay, as a doctor, yes, it is important. Okay, vaccination is nothing but a kind of chemical or protein. Okay, and it is a kind of protein, a model protein of coronavirus. Okay, or any particular vaccine. If it is smallpox vaccine or chickenpox vaccine, whatever the vaccine is, especially polio vaccine. Polio vaccine is nothing but a chemical or protein, which is nothing but the model of polio virus. Okay, when we are injected polio vaccine or corona vaccine, our white blood corpuscles are prepared that though it is not our white blood corpuscles, WBC think that all the WBC in our body think that it is a virus, I have to kill him. Likewise, WBC think and I mean, of course, it doesn't think, but for example, I say it thinks so and it attacks us and it fails. Again, it is continuously at WBC attacks that particular protein and it dissolves that protein. And if in case the real coronavirus attacks us, WBC know how to attack this coronavirus, and it easily destroys coronavirus. Okay, so this vaccine doesn't kill coronavirus. Our WBC is prepared to kill it is a kind of training to our WBC. Okay, so therefore we should take vaccination. And these things are educated by the doctors in through media, especially in the modern age. YouTube is the main social media. By that all the messages are conveyed. Okay, so doctors say so. Likewise, maths students and the maths teachers and there is a construction. So it is in triangle shape, and therefore you can easily apply those trigonometry theories and solve the problem. Okay, and that's how it should be done. And let's say in small on small issues, science is necessary, maths is necessary. When we study these things, and then only we develop the attitude. See, say for example, if you are illiterate, your attitude towards society, your attitude towards yourself, your women, everything completely changes. Okay, so as you are educated, then only you have the attitude. So after completing the 4 years, your relatives, your friends will say, you are a teacher. Now you are a teacher. So being a teacher, you do not know English. Being a teacher, you do not know maths. Such kind of criticism I and all of you are going to face. Okay, as a teacher, there are certain responsibilities. In this way only you have to behave, and we as teachers should tell our society that how society should behave. Okay, so the meaningful learning situation should be created by teachers, so that students are going to be motivated and they learn the subject. But there is problem with the syllabus and the curriculum. Don't write those points, but it is the responsibility of the teachers to provide a meaningful learning situation so that they can learn, especially language games. Language games is very important, and by that they learn the language quickly. Okay, language games is example of meaningful learning situation. Okay, so teaching approaches. So teaching approaches, please write down teaching approaches. Teachers should give concrete and valuable examples before proceeding to abstract concepts by way of simple or easy tips at pace in line, especially with learning abilities of people. Teachers should give concrete and valuable examples before proceeding to abstract concepts by way of simple and easy steps at a pace in line, especially with learning abilities of pupils. Okay, so when you teach abstract concept, especially in maths and even in English, as far as English is concerned, at the degree level, at the college level only, difficult concepts are done or taught. Higher level of philosophy or taught only at the college level, but at the school level, English subject, small stories, easily comprehensible stories and poetry, they alone are prescribed for syllabus, even if it is CBSE syllabus. Okay, maybe grammar is also, of course, from the student's point of view, it may be a difficult concept, but other than that, English is actually easy subject, even from the student's point of view also. But in case of maths, that is the most difficult subject. For there are some, not some, there are many students who are weak in maths subjects. Okay, in all the subjects they may most of the students would have scored 90 and above, but in maths subject alone they fail. Okay, so that is the problem with maths subject. And of course there are some students who score centum in maths but fail in other subjects, in all the subjects. Okay, so maths is such a peculiar subject, but whatever the subjects could be, maths or English, when you teach difficult concept, the proper and apt example should be given. Okay, but let's say even in as I teach, I give you examples. Okay, but the example should be given in a proper way. Okay, I strongly believe that the examples given by me are given in a proper way. And as we give more and more examples, students are going to understand it easily. Okay, they are going to understand it easily. Okay, and let's say as I get feedback, you give examples from movies and that they are all interested. Okay, that's how I get feedback from students. So the proper examples and interesting examples, and by that students will be able to understand the concept easily. Okay, especially with the students of learning difficulties, proper examples should be given, and so that they can learn easily. Okay, and the final point: provide clear instructions. Provide clear instructions. People with learning difficulties are less competent in understanding written language. Therefore, teachers should give people short and clear instruction and to avoid confusion. Okay. So the clear instruction. Again, I give you example. Okay. So I mean the previous point itself, giving proper examples is very important so that they can understand. So to explain this concept also, I give you an example. See, when you give a student a book, and when you ask them to read, okay, see, as they read, it is reading. Most of the students are not going to be interested by nature. They are going to be interested to watch TV and watch cell phones and or movies. This is what they are interested, but they are not interested to read. Okay, and generally reading is actually a difficult task. Okay, so as it is a little bit difficult task, and we have to give a clear instruction. This is how you have to study. This is how you have to read. Okay, and I will say, whether you like it or not, you simply read. Of course, you see, this is my experience, and most of the students' experience are going to be this. If you simply read, don't think, forget about examination or marks. You simply read, and at one point you develop the taste for reading. This is not only for example, this is really my experience, and most of the students' experience also. If you simply read again and again, you develop their taste for reading. Okay, and this is my technique. If you have different idea, a better idea, see, in my example, in my technique, initially the process is very boring. What is the process? Read it again and again. I am not at all interested. But you do it again and again. At one point, you will develop a taste and interest for reading. Okay. So this is my technique. So if exactly we have to find out the problem with the student and help them in learn. Okay. So that's all. That's the end of our syllabus. All the 3 units are covered, and I will inform you soon. And summarize this video lecture, and next class I will instruct you. But By this video, I declare that all our portions are over. Okay, thank you.